Today we are going to deep dive into a matters that prepare someone for a better outcome wherever they find themselves. And the title of today's episode is Your Current Job Pays You Twice. Yes, your current job pays you twice. We are going to unpack the first payment, and we are going to unpack the second payment. My name is Leye Olalere, and this is West Africa. Have you ever noticed that most people pay for better salary, better job, better opportunities, better companies? Over the years, I realized that many people don't really want that better job. They don't really want to go to that company. All they want is the better income, the better salary, better paycheck. And this is the bottom line of what is happening in every part of the country nowadays. People want paycheck. They want to get more money. They want to get more salary. They want to live in a bigger house. And that's why you see them on Friday evening, just before the closing of the week. They are very happy. They are very happy. The energy is there. Everybody is thinking about how they will spend their weekend. But fast forward to Monday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, they feel sluggish to wake out of the bed and prepare for a job. Why? Because they focus on something else. This reminds me of my story when I was in primary school. On Friday, I'll be looking at the bell that was hanging on the tree, very, very close to my classroom. On Friday, I'll be looking at that bell, waiting for the every clock to kick and then to see when that guy will go and ring that bell. And because when the guy rings the bell, I know that there's freedom. And then we don't need to wait for a long hour. On Friday, we close by 1 o'clock. And then I begin to imagine how I'll spend my weekend, no parent at home, and all those kind of things. But on Monday morning, I feel very sluggish to wake out of the bed. Why? Because I imagine the stress that I'll go through in school, how my teacher will flog me if I don't get the right answer, and so many things like that. Now, it is the same story, but instead of the teacher to flog us, nowadays it is our bills, our expenses, the many things that is flogging us, and we are keeping on repeating the same mistake. Everyone that gets job, whether in Africa, in America, in Asia, any part of the world, anybody that ever got a job, they got reward twice. The first reward is feasible. You can track it, you can monitor it, you can spend it, and that is your salary. And that is your first reward. This is what many people focus on. If they got any appointment letter, the first thing that they will look at is the first reward. When they get employment letter, they look at the first reward. If it's better, they accept the offer. If it doesn't better, they reject the offer. And that is what their brain processes. In their mental model, they want to see a fat salary, a fast allowances, and many other things that everyone's look for in a job. But is that all? No, that's not all. The tragedy is that many people doesn't even know that the second reward exists. And if I may ask you, can you get the second reward? Yeah, the second reward is capability. So I call it capability. It can be transformation and many other things. But let me call it capability because it is invisible reward. Most employees focus on the first reward and they never take time to study the invisible reward of capability. The capability is the thing that ensure that you become a better version of yourself. It ensure that you transition from just an employee to become a builder. How many of us focus on capability in our work? That reminds me of a story. When I got a job after driving Uber for more than 2 years, I got a job that pays me less than amount I can realize in Uber in a month. So it pays me half of that amount I can realize in a month. But to so many people, when you look at the first reward, it is not good. But I look at the second reward, which is capability. Who am I becoming while getting this job? When you ask the right question, you can get the right answer because question is the steering wheel of our mind. And then if you ask the right question, you are going to get the right answer. And if you ask the right question, you are going to shift your focus to the right answer. And when you get the right answer, it dictates the outward, it dictates who you become in life. And that's what we are talking about. For just an employee, they focus on first reward, and if the first reward is not good, they reject the offer. But for the builder collect both. They collect the first reward and they collect the second reward. Not like they don't like salary, not like they don't like the better paycheck, but far beyond the better paycheck, they focus on who they become. they focus on who they become over years. Imagine if everything you focus on is the salary or your paycheck, and you have been collecting it for the past 10 years. So how much have you saved? No, there's some salaries that some people will get, and I can tell you that they can never buy a Benz. So there are some salaries that some people can get, they cannot buy a reasonable car like a 20 million naira car. Why? Because how long will they save the 20 million naira car? But what gets people out of poverty, it is not the first reward. It is the second reward that actually gets people out of poverty, because it compounds over time. The second reward is exponential, while the first reward is linear. What do I mean by linear? Linear is that you get the salary, and when you get the salary, you have the long list of the expenses to cater for your children's school fee, your own feeding, the house rent, your wife. Many things are already on it, and then whenever as you are spending it, the thing is going down. But the second reward is exponential. Think about it. What are the second reward when you get a job? The second reward is the skill that you learn as a result of having that job. Okay, let me use myself as an example. When I got that job in elevator industry, so I'm not used to working in formal settings before. I've got some couple of jobs, but not like proper settings. And then after getting the job, it exposed me to board meetings. I'm attending different meetings of high caliber people coming from federal government parastatals, state government parastatals, and many things like that. So I have communication skill. It builds my confidence. I've done a lot of things before I got that job. So practicing those skills in corporate settings build my confidence. I have rapports with many people, the expatriate and many other people in that job. So that exposed me to the market. So I'm not only focusing on the paycheck, because if I had focused on paycheck initially, I wouldn't have got the job, because Uber pays me double of what I'm currently getting. But I focuses on the second reward, which is capability. Who I'm becoming. Who are you becoming as a result of getting that job? That is far, far more better than what you are getting from the job. I'm not saying that the salary is not good. I'm not saying that getting a fast salary does not amount to something. No. What I'm saying in essence is that beyond that salary, who are you becoming? You know, when you shift your focus from what you are getting to who you are becoming, your neurobiologies begin to change, and it adapts differently to the stress. Because if you focus on salary, every assignment becomes a frustration to you. Every little challenges everything about you. You begin to interpret things differently. Okay, come to think of it. Two people work in a very big organization. They work for 5 years. They have a very big salary, but they have the completely different results. For number one, he was focusing on memories of how he was frustrated at work, how his boss got him on pressure to work for some things, and how he was finding it difficult to put some assignment together. While the second person focused on mastery, the second person was able to live with mastery of how he was able to negotiate under pressure. See, there are many skills. Like me now, what I brought out from my years of working, for about 2 or 3 years working, it built my confidence on how to relate with people. It built my relational skills, built my negotiation skills, built many things. So after 5 years, one live with good mastery of all those things, and some live with only memories of the friend they have at work, memory of his boss, whether your boss is nagging or anything, just memories. So one live with complaints, different kind of complaints, while other lives with capability. One lives with earning salary, just salary alone. He focus on earning salary alone, while the other lives with building the future. So what are you literally focusing on in your current job? Are you focusing on salary? Because the tragedy of it is that many salary does not leave the middle of the next month. So many people find it difficult to save towards their goal, even while earning that salary. So come to think of it, after 10 years, only what you could show is a little saving, and you are not becoming better version of yourself. Imagine if the company that you are working for right now just collapse. What will happen? Do you have the capability? Do you have the ability for you to be employed in an identical company like your current company? Do you think that you had enough value to yourself to become the best one that they can hire in the identical company, or a company that even doing a much more bigger than your current company? So what are the things that you are building? it pushes us to what I call the builder's mindset. And then the builder's mindset, you have to understand that if you don't ask the right question, you may not get the right answer. So instead of asking, how much am I earning in this job? You ask, who am I becoming? I think that is the right answer. Earning is an employee mindset, and it will not change who you become over time. But if you focus on who am I becoming as a result of finding myself in this job, you ask the right question, and then that differentiates how you are going to respond to everything that you see at that job. If you ask, how much I'm earning, your brain, your mental model begin to process on salary alone or the outcome. So supposing your boss fire like one person or two person and then dump the work on you, so your first focus will now, your mental model will process, okay, I'm working 3 people job while not increasing my salary, right? So, but if you ask, who am I becoming? So you know, say, okay, let's see if I can handle 3 people job with this my capability. Can I actually do more with my current job? Can I actually do more? You understand that when you are subjected to a task that is greater than your current effort, what happens is that it's either you reject the task that you are unable to do it, or you increase your mastery level, you increase your capability level so that you can actually do that work. And when you achieve it, you go, oh, so that means I can do more than this. Okay, that means I can actually achieve this. So many of us, we never know the current version of ourselves. We never know who we are. We never know that we can actually do more than we think we can. But the thing is that we have not subjected ourselves to the pressure that can actually help us to do it. Imagine when a dog is chasing you in a neighborhood compound that you don't know that there was dog there. Maybe you just park into that apartment and then you are going north and a dog begin to chase you. You discover that you actually jump over the fence that you don't even know that you can actually jump in the first place. Why? I know that some moment will kick in and your body system will adapt to the emergency. So exactly when you find yourself in a situation at job and then you begin to process that, who am I becoming as a result of this, you begin to act on your best version of you, and then you begin to achieve more. Another question, instead of asking when it is payday, you begin to ask, who am I becoming? What am I learning? After I got that job, my salary in a month was half of what I can make driving Uber in a month. So my boss told me something. He said that I gave you 3 months to prove yourself. You told me a story of how you revived a filling station that was selling 200 liters per day, and then you put in your strategy and you are able to increase the sales to 5,000 liters per day. That was actually the story. The story was my interview. And then after I told that story to my boss, he believed me and he gave me the offer. And I said that I gave you 3 months to prove that thing. And in 3 months, if you are able to prove yourself right, I'm going to increase your salary. After the 3 months, I went back. I said, okay, the 3 months is over. So what are you saying? Are you increasing my salary or I should go? He said something profound. He said that for more than 12 years that I've been in Nigeria, I've never gave anyone 3-month probation and they came back. They never come back. They never come back. But for the fact that you came back to negotiate, that means that you are sure that you actually meet the criteria of me employing you. So go and do proposal. I end up adding 75% to my salary after 4 months. So what am I focusing on within that 3 months? I'm not focusing on the money. I'm focusing on the capacity. Who am I becoming? Will I become the better version of myself to be able to do the assignment that my boss put in my disposal? You may not understand what you get when you get a job. Some of us even need to start by getting a job first before you even start a business. Because if you don't get a job, you might not literally know how you can put a structure down when you are running your business. So I happen to work for someone. The person is a billionaire in Nigeria Naira, is a billionaire in Nigeria Naira, but the company is actually big, but there was no structure. The man handle almost everything, handle accounting, handle many things. And then if you get to their office and many other things, it's not well structured. So I think many people need to get a job to learn some skills of how to properly run a company before they actually start their own company. Don't be fooled by this advice of getting your own company, be your own boss. It is good, but are you learning the skills even if you want to be the boss of your own? Are you learning the skill in the process? That is it. So instead of asking how quickly can I leave this company, what capability can I leave these companies with? That is the right question that you need to ask. The salary is temporary and you know that, but the capability is eternal. So whatever that you learn how to do now, over time it compounds. If you learn the knowledge, you learn the skills now, over time it's compound. So let me ask one question: why many people get stuck in life? So every challenges feel unnecessary for them, every difficulties feel unbearable, and those are the things that why many people they get stuck. Every Monday morning become like a burden to them. Those are the reasons why they get stuck. And when attention shifts to growth, they defend it. They don't want to growth. They don't want growth. You cannot challenge their current thinking. You cannot challenge whatever they are doing now. So those are the things that make people get stuck in life. Same workplace become the classroom. When you are familiar with the environment, your brain stops processing everything about the environment. And that is the same reason when you see a man and you keep seeing that man over time, that man became normal. Even if that person is not normal, or you became normal. Some ladies, they married to a guy that they think that the guy is handsome or the guy is not that handsome, and then over time, whether the guy is handsome or whether the guy is not handsome, the guy become regular like every other one. Why? Because you keep seeing this person every day. That is the same way our brain simulates everything around us. We keep normalize ourselves with the environment, and if you are not constantly thinking about what you are getting from your environment, you get stuck in that environment and you might not be able to take something out of it. Joseph was learning leadership skills in Potiphar's house. He was learning leadership skills in the prison. And by the time he appears in front of Pharaoh, as at the time that he interpreted the dream that he had has ended at that spot. But what took him from that current state to where he wanted to be, was not the dream, was not the solution, it was the capacity that he has built over time from the Potiphar's house, from the prison, that actually sustained him. It was the capacity before the exposure. How many of you is building capacity? Many of us lack vision. I'm going to start another series which I call Builders Operating System. I beseech you to watch that series. I'll be talking about the 7 pillars that make a builder. I beseech you to watch that series. I'm going to create a very different playlist for it on YouTube so that you can see all the series. The first pillar in that Builders Operating System is see. You need to see. Many of us, we don't see ourselves beyond salary. We don't see the value beyond salary. That's why many of us, we cannot achieve great things. Why? Because we only saw the salary, and that limits our mind. If you want to become the better version of yourself, you need to shift. You need to shift from just earning salary to build a better version of yourself. You need to stop focusing on salary. I understand that the human experience is very real. The struggle is real. I understand that the struggle is real. But if you focus your attention on the struggles, you deprive yourself the energy to create things. The builder, they focus on creation. The creation mindset, we continue to ask, what are the inefficiencies in this thing? What are the inefficiencies in this environment? What are the inefficiencies in this system? How can I fix this? Imagine 2 people can look at the window, see a long list of traffic, and one say, to get home today it is very difficult. How will I navigate myself home? Traffic is everywhere. But another one will say, okay, traffic, that means there are a lot of people in this city. So what can I sell to these people in traffic? That is the same optical input, but they interpreted it in different ways. How do you interpret the struggle of life? If Joseph did not interpret the struggle he experienced in the dream in Potiphar's house, if he has not interpreted correctly, he will not become a good leader in the prison. David is another character in the Bible that exhibits the exceptional skill of not focusing on paycheck. He was defending the animal, protecting the animal. And then God sees this as, okay, this is the one that has built capacity. And he was doing all those things when nobody is looking at him. But when the time comes for him to defeat Goliath, many people did not know that he has done far greater things than that. But it was not known, it was not recorded. But he actually did it. So what are you becoming? So the tragedy is that many people leave job with the same mindset that they started with. And they became the same fashion of themselves. And if they cannot do all those things, they did not transform to be a better version of themselves. So past year, many years has passed, many weeks has passed, many hours has passed, and they have never become the better version of themselves. Am I working only for income, or I'm building capacity? Ask yourself. Am I collecting salaries, or I'm collecting skills? If my salary stops today, work capabilities will still remain. Ask yourself those questions. Every job gives you two rewards. I already said it. It gives you salary check, and it gives you capability. And I want to tell you that capability will transform you to become the better version of yourself. So I'm leaving you with this. If you have to build something today, if you have to focus on something today, knows that every job pays twice. Only the employee collects one, which is salary, but the builder collects both. Are you collecting one, or you are collecting both? See you in my next episode. Thank you.